Alright. Last week, with the Whims of Fate, we had, well, basically, the entire party went to GodCon, except Brina and Tooth. Idea, for once, was not the last one to bed. He was actually the first person to rise, oddly enough. Rada
Breakfast
had
adventure.
a meeting with King Yan. Brina woke her Rada up from said meeting, and Erden witnessed the consequences of some of the words that King Yan said.
While eating the tastiest baguette he had ever eaten.
Because
Right.
Sir Nos wasn't happy about some of the things that King Yan said. Idea got
I'm sorry,
breakfast.
the tale was so dumb but so funny.
Idea had a god translate for her so she could get breakfast for herself and for Everald. And had to be told what boars would eat. They said they'll eat anything.
The usual.
Later on, Brina forgot her glamour and got people staring at her.
And was flustered enough that didn't roll it well anyway.
And Rada was too tired to see properly. We followed Everald. Along the way, Rada got another divine conference call, but respectfully declined. Then Idea started talking with someone, and was so distracted that she walked right into a river that we then water walked across. And as we were going, crossing to the other side, there was a bridge further down that we failed to notice.
I just thought of something. No, I was not invited to GodCon, but I did still have an interaction with the god. Because I offered him my ale.
That was last time. That was 2 sessions ago, I think.
Oh yeah, that was 2 sessions ago.
Yep.
But at the same time, I kind of see that as the beginning of GodCon because of all of this, but you are correct.
If we had looked for 10 more minutes, we would have realized there was a bridge. Nope, third level spell slots and a 4th level spell slot. Let's go!
Is this where we knock you on the back of the head back so you can get a good rest in to get your spell slot back? Sorry, I just like no. I'm not saying that I want to do that. I'm just like, if you really needed to get those spell slots back in a pinch, would that?
You'd have to be out for 8 hours. And I'm not sure that getting hit in the head was good for your rest.
Correct.
If it's longer than 5 seconds, then there is definitely brain damage.
Yeah. So no, that does not work. How would we establish this before we ever tried it in gameplay?
Because we're a party of realism. Actually, no, we're a group of realism.
Group of realists. Yep. Okay, we're across the river. That's nice.
Sorry, I love this. I was going to look for something else and I found a cool item, so it may show up at some point. I love this. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's either a good thing or a bad thing.
No, even though Rita didn't get invited to GodCon, as long as she has a book, she's fine. Sorry, I'm thinking of it like as a Comic-Con where Rita drove everybody there because for some reason Brina's the driver. And so she just sits in her car and reads as everybody else goes into the convention. use sending if something goes wrong.
We have anyone who can use sending?
Nope.
Not right now.
Not right now. Once we get Rada back on track, then yes, but
Rada, can you give me a higher level?
I have high hopes.
But do we have a living?
Dominic, can you give me a higher low?
Hi. Yep, with high hopes.
Okay. Marco, can you roll me a d12?
Ooh. It's been a long time since I've rolled one of these. That's an 11.
Yeah, I can't think of high hopes without also thinking low rolls.
Mhm.
There was a group that was called that.
I hope low rolls.
Yeah, high hopes, low rolls.
That's a very appropriate D&D party name.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Give me a sec. Okay. Here is. Can I find the gun? Wait. This is not. Here we go. Okay. Then, Mary, can you roll me percentage die?
Yes.
Yes.
What fate have our dice decided for us today? I'm terrified.
That is a 79. Not too bad.
You're here. Okay. All right. Wow. There we go. Oh. So, we have made it to the other side of the river. And Uh. Well, sorry, I'm like fighting off a cold. It's choking me. Da, 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 da. Sorry, just have to be prepared because people. I don't know what is going on in the other room, but my mother said you fall in love, you get married, start a family, get divorced. I'm like, what is going on in there? They're
Well,
very
something went wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Why is divorce immediately on the list? Like,
No.
just because it's fashionable for people who were born in the 60s and 70s doesn't mean it's fashionable for us. Jeez. You don't collect husbands like you collect Pokemon cards.
Some people do.
I know one.
I do too. Don't like that that's the first person that came to mind. No, okay, correction. Technically, they were the second. The first was Elizabeth Taylor. What? She stole Debbie Reynolds' husband.
Yeah,
Literally.
but he allowed himself to be stolen, so what's to say about him?
And I think there was also, like, there was a bit of interview clip with Debbie Reynolds at some point where she's like, "You did me a favor."
That's funny.
Because they had been friends. Then Elizabeth Taylor stole her husband. I can't remember if they became friends again after that or not. But no, I don't like that the person that you were thinking of is the person that I thought of.
All right. Anyway, so. Man. All right. I need somebody to call heads or tails.
Heads.
Okay. Cool.
There have been 5 technically dice rolls that have happened so far. This is making me very nervous.
He gets covered about we have crossed the river.
Like, we just crossed a river. What are we rolling for? Was there like a
79?
Was the probability of a dragon? The probability the dragon has something else going on it. 11 means that it has an awakened bush controlling its mind. And the probability was for how quickly it'll kill us while we're walking on the river. And the heads or tails was instant death?
Oh man, I was hoping that the 11 was the number of treasure items.
Awakened bush.
Oh, no. You see, there's one thing I have failed to do. I have failed to get anyone to death saving throws. Except in the dream.
Why is that cool?
That was player inflicted.
I was gonna say, me too, except for the one time that my players all put the other player into a death saving throw because they insisted on being possessed by a demon.
The fight against Quetzalcoatl, Rada was downed.
Oh,
that is correct.
it's been too long.
You haven't failed.
I need to kill someone.
Oh no.
Please no.
Amror, no!
We don't have disposable players anymore. We have the core cast. Dang it.
Clear, slightly breezy day. After you've just crossed a river and you're feeling pretty good.
We're walking on mud. It's great. It's not. We're not squelching it in anymore.
A little more solid.
Yeah.
You see those like puffy, happy clouds just floating by, moving pretty quick.
I was about to say, since it's spring, we're not quite walking on sunshine, but if there are only a few clouds.
Sunshine. Careful, you might get a sunburn.
I don't think Adea is worried about getting sunburned.
I don't think Brina is either.
I think the only two people that would be concerned would be the two guys.
Yeah. And Tooth's right in Airden's bag.
You guys are pasty.
Sorry, I just had a really funny thought of Tooth pulling a freaking, like, sunbonnet or, like, one of those big, like, gardening hats out of his bag and slapping it on Airden's head.
No.
I'll do you one better.
Oh, no.
Sombrero.
The thing is because of where Erden is from, he can't get sunburned.
I look like I would get instantly burned to the sun, and I genetically cannot do that. It's amazing.
He cannot get a tan, so he always just looks sickly. No.
My thing is, like, I'm predominantly Scottish. I fry. And then I go back to being white.
That's my mom.
I got tan lines, like swimsuit tan lines on my back once, and I was so confused. I'm looking at my back in the mirror like, what the freak is that?
I still have sock tans from this past summer. Like, I can't get rid of them.
Yeah, like, farmer's tan is the only thing that has actually stuck on me. Mainly my arms.
That's funny. Okay, anyway. So, what are y'all doing while you're walking?
Practicing my banjo.
Give me a performance check. See how it's going. You are not a vampire.
No, but I do like that. Anyways, I was gonna I turned off the light to the laundry stuff.
Oh, okay.
Just so it's not on.
Actually hurt. Don't do that.
If I'm doing my math right, it's a dirty 20.
Okay. You're sitting there walking on sunshine. And don't it feel good?
I'm sorry I brought it up.
You had, I would have. Good.
The sun is shining, the birds are singing, we're walking on mud.
No, the glass is clean.
Gosh, what?
Exactly, like, the sun is shining, the tank is clean, the can is clean.
Yes.
Do you really want to spend the rest of your life watching ads? Guys, just download ads. It's a free Google Chrome extension and it basically blocks ads for you.
Yeah.
And it actually gets
Well, it's not working now.
cooler because if you do see ads, I legit pays you to see them. I had no idea these were even ads, but I mean,
Oh,
I don't know what's going
go
on.
away. I don't want to listen to your damn ad about not wanting ads. Jeez. Okay. Here we go. Can you guys hear that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I can
That's okay.
kinda hear it.
I'm just
I
gonna.
can hear the ad far
We
better.
could hear your ad.
Yeah, we can hear your ad, but
This is you, Erden.
I like it. I think if Aaron's singing and practicing his banjo, he's just harmonizing and having fun with it.
Just amuses me. I can't believe there was a cover. I was like, yes. Excellent. You know what, Brina? Go ahead and give me a perform too.
Please, I'm a bard. Let this be good. $16. I will take that. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you're doing a pretty good job at harmonizing. You guys sound good. Birds are singing along with you.
Oh, are they singing like actual words that Brina can understand?
No, they're just chirping in key. My cat has done that by accident before. It's really funny. I'll be like playing something and he just like will meow right in key, and I'm like, did you do that on purpose? Or did I just happen to be in the right key? Who knows? But you are enjoying yourselves.
Rada is too tired to do anything.
Other than walk?
Yeah, just follow Everold, make sure that there's no danger around.
Danger, danger. Mayday,
Meanwhile,
mayday.
me and Brina are basically doing a whole sound that basically sending off signal flares with sound. So the birds are now joining in.
If you're heading towards the camp and there are scouts, they will find us. If we consider ourselves lost, this might be a good thing, assuming they don't consider us an enemy.
After several hours of this, you're playing music, you're having a good time, you're finally reaching much more solid ground. Must have been drier over
The
here.
water walk only lasts an hour, so we had to walk through the mud for a little bit.
It's getting on to evening. Rada, you start hearing like a really angry voice, angry shouting coming from ahead of you.
Adea, who's been fairly bored since crossing the river, is immediately curious.
And I would walk 500 more.
Is there some angry shouting nearby?
Can I go look into it?
You should probably stay.
I would promise to be sneaky, but I cannot keep that promise. I can try, but I can't guarantee.
You recognize the voice?
Or what they're saying?
Do I do any of those things?
You give me a wisdom check.
Huh. Alright. So that's a 17.
The voice does not sound familiar. No, give me an perception.
But a recognizable language. Relevant question.
Ah, damn it, why do I have to be exhausted? That would have been a 19 plus perception, but no, it's 10 plus perception.
Mhm.
Isn't your perception a +8?
It is.
You still get an 18.
You sound like a bard when they roll below a 15. It's like, it's only a 12.
Hey, I was just happy that I actually had a pretty good performance goal to keep up with Mr. Paladin Bard.
I mean, you're the exception when it comes to bards
It would have been
regards.
a 27, okay?
True.
So what's the total then?
18.
18.
You're not making out individual words, but you're pretty sure from the tone and inflection of the words that it's probably Latin. So if you get closer, you probably could understand what they're saying.
Nobody told me no. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna.
Okay, you can understand Latin, correct?
Yes.
Then be as sneaky as you can be.
All right. Adea will attempt to be sneaky, but she does wear chainmail, so
It's what, disadvantage, I think?
disadvantage.
Bardic inspiration just for help.
Okay.
You can do it.
The
You can be
D8, right?
sneaky.
What was that?
Yeah.
The D8.
For the Bardic inspiration.
Yes. Let's see what we add to my.
You feel exactly what I'm doing. You got this, idea.
We'll turn my 10 into a 14.
14?
Yeah. Solidly might have worked. Solid maybe.
So you said a 14?
Arguing is a disadvantage.
Yes, that was after disadvantage. It rolled a 17 and a 10, so +4 to that is the 14.
Nice. Okay, so Rada, you definitely can still hear her. Like, you know, the other two, you can hear her too, but she's not nearly as clangy as she usually is. Not as jingly, so she's trying. You know she's trying.
Mhm.
Maybe not so successfully, but who knows? As you go around the bend in the trail, you immediately see that there's a campfire set up, and that there is a man standing up, richly dressed. He's got like gold thread sewn into his clothes. Appears to be wearing some sort of circlet, silver circlet on his head. There's a really nice horse and a really nice carriage attached to it. A really nice tent set up, and he is just berating this servant who is sitting next to the fire, who was clearly trying to serve him food. He has this nobleman has not noticed you. He's got his back to you, and he is just lashing at this man, who also has not noticed you because he's getting a thorough tongue lashing. So, despite the fact that you are not being terribly quiet, his shouting is clearly covering up any noise you're making.
That's good news. I'm guessing I don't recognize this person then.
No.
He also has his back to you.
What to do? What to do?
Is the Latin that he's yelling in?
Well, I presume that is what Adea is doing when in understanding that this servant is getting heavily berated.
once you get close enough, you can hear that this man is just like, "How dare you feed me this crap? It's cold. You didn't cook it long enough. I'm going to get sick. You need to do better than this." And he is just apparently pissed off about his food.
Yeah, that checks out. Have I walked far enough away from the rest of the party to that they can't see me?
Yeah, you've gone around a bend, so you can't see them and they can't see you. Unless they followed and just didn't tell you. No. Have fun. Have fun storming the castle.
Think they'll be able to? It'll take a miracle. Bye-bye!
This is reminding me of when Bilbo was first saw the trolls, because the book describes it as Bilbo being annoyed that the dwarves are not being quiet when really they are being quiet.
Dwarves.
And it just came to mind that we hoots like an owl if it's safe. Hoot like a different owl if it's dangerous.
Honestly, the moment I heard horse and carriage, I immediately thought of Grand Theft Auto. Absolutely, just right away with it. They definitely haven't brought everything down, make it more miserable. As the player, not the character.
Oh man, I wish I had thaumaturgy right now. Would make a loud noise to spook the horse.
Don't spook the horse.
Okay, how far would I have to go to be able to see somebody if I wanted to signal them?
Thirty feet, roll stealth again.
Alright. What are you doing, Idea?
How far would I have to go in order to signal somebody for like somebody to see me?
Not that far. Maybe
Because if it's
50
not
feet.
very far, I'd probably go back around the corner just enough to signal somebody, decently stealthy to follow me. Or, we could keep creating a racket, that's fine too, but probably someone stealthy. Just kind of wave somebody over.
Yeah, you probably only went 50 feet around that corner.
Could have determined an actual signal, but yeah, I will try to wave somebody over after backing up just enough to get their attention.
Alright.
Does anyone know what that signal is?
Probably wants us to go over there.
It's a little dark. I can't really see her that well.
Rita's just sighing. And like, no, she pretty sure Idea would want us to come over there. Like, what else would she be psychologically, what else would she be trying to signal us to do?
Send
I don't
one
know.
person over? Tooth, go check it out.
Yeah. Dude, you're the stealthiest of us, right?
You get a snore in reply.
Oh,
Rena, you don't jingle like the rest of us.
Hang on a
Go.
second. 1 sec.
Take Emerald with me, but I'll go.
I need you. Okay. Hold on. All right.
The jingle bells.
Say it again,
Yeah, yes.
Marco. Say what you said to me. To Tooth.
Tooth, you're one of the stealthiest people around. Could you go over and check it out?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Okay. I need you to roll a sneak. Naked. If we get in that one, that would be great. 19! Huzzah! Tooth! Suckers! Marco. Erden, you don't even feel Tooth get out of your bag. You're like, are you gonna go? And then you're like, oh. He's gone.
Hey,
Cool. Okay. So Idea has gone ahead and around a bend. And you guys are in England now, or not England, you're in Wales now. Oh, you guys heard shouting. Idea went to go check it out. She came back and started waving people down, but they weren't really sure what was going on, so they're sending you to go follow her. Cool. Okay, so you get around the bend, you catch up with Idea, and you can see this nobleman chewing out his servant over what looks like a bowl of soup. So that's another character. I have a character that loves soup. Is this different than the one that I Yes.
It's whispering over the two. Well, maybe not fully whispering because it does still need to be heard.
Get in my lap.
As quiet as you can be and still be heard by Tooth. It's like you can see we have a very angry nobleman about food. Apparently, I mean, I don't recognize him though. I'm thinking about spooking his horse, but I mean, I don't have a good way to do that without getting caught right now.
Oh no. Are you gonna do what I think you're gonna 12. So let's see. Hang on just a moment. Yeah, okay.
That's the trickster to help with that.
What are you planning to do? I want to do hang on.
yes, the mute button.
Yeah. For some reason now I feel like was a mistake.
You should have known this was a mistake in the beginning.
You were the one who brought up Tooth first.
And when originally Tooth had given you a snore in response, Rita was more than willing to go. I could have talked to the horse if we wanted to try and do grand theft carriage. Because I have a feeling if this is how the man treats his servant, he probably doesn't treat his horse very well either.
Oh no, he doesn't even treat the horse. He doesn't consider it. The servant treats the horse very well.
Yes. Which is probably, and the horse is probably upset that the servant's getting chewed out too. He's like, he's my friend, and this guy's a jerk. I
Just
just have
kind
an
of.
image in my head of like Brina going up and like cutting the leather of the traces that attaches him to the carriage, and it's like, and no, you're free now.
I mean,
I don't know, like untying them from the carriage, just being like, you know what to do.
It's like, it's your choice now.
I wanted to send Tooth in first anyway, but then Idea volunteered. Also making
Dad being bored and doing reckless things. Name a better pair. All right, Tom.
We had to look something up.
Here, what are we doing?
In my lap because he sits.
What could possibly be being planned that would require it being looked up?
Shh.
And a mute button.
It's a learn as you go. Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's like, I have a feeling we're about to find out, and I'm a little terrified of that.
Just what are we gonna pull out a bandolier of flashbangs or something?
Don't give him any ideas.
Don't give Adea any ideas.
I said them. That can include Idea.
Oh, +2. +2. So 14? It'll work.
Oh no.
Excellent. Okay. So this is for Idea's benefit. Because right now Idea's the only one who can see this happening. Alright, what are you doing, dude? I'm going to make a snake appear. It's not a real snake, but it looks like one. It's going to go in my hand, and then I'm going to let it go on the ground. And hopefully, it'll scare the horse. Are you going to go up to the horse to do this? No, I'm going to chuck it at it. No, of course, I'm going to walk up. So you see Tooth doing something with his hands, and then a snake appears in it, and he walks up to the horse. Now I'm gonna roll. Idea, you've never seen Tooth do anything like this. I need you to give me an Arcana check.
That's an 11.
That's enough. You know what magic looks like when it's happening. Tooth doesn't do magic, but Tooth just did magic. And you're wondering what he was doing in the library. The horse does not realize it is not a real snake and freaks out, rears up, lets out this neigh. You guys hear the horse, and then the horse bolts, and you hear the nobleman go, "What? Horse, get away!"
Hear the neigh? Can I get a translation for Brina? Because I know it's not going to sound like a neigh to me. It's going to sound like, holy shit.
No, it's like 3 long sensors, and then the horse is gone.
Yeah, there's a lot of swear words, and you think you might hear the word snake.
Snake?
Adea's giving Tooth the approving nod.
Is that the horse is bolting down the road? Is it coming towards us or away from us?
Away. You can hear it heading away from you. The nobleman is shouting at the servant to go after the horse. And the servant's just like, oh, yeah, and just like takes off after the horse. There's no way he's going to keep up with the horse.
Right.
This nobleman just huffs, stomps his feet, and he turns around to see what's going on. And abruptly makes eye contact with you, Idea. And he goes, "Did you just do that?"
No, I was just watching.
And you didn't think to maybe warn me that my horse was going to take off?
Surprised me too.
Women, useless. He just turns away from you.
I imagine the rest of the group has been slowly walking up at the commotion and heard that last bit, right?
Yeah, because I'm like, as soon as that horse neighs, as soon as I hear the horse, I'm like, I want to go see what's happening. Because that horse just swore and yelled snake. What's happening?
Oh, yes. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go for it. I want you to roll just to make sure that. I mean, you haven't done these before, and 16. Oh, there was a thingy we were gonna do. Oh. We'll worry about it when I've got time to think of it. Okay. All right. Go for it.
All right. I mage pants him.
Idea, you see this giant spectral hand appear out of nowhere and just yank this guy's trousers down. And he trips and falls over as he's like stomping around. And he is flustered and cursing and angry. And I will say about that time, you guys come around the corner and you can see Adea just standing there watching this guy who is clearly fallen over, his pants at his ankles, as he's struggling to get back up and pull them up. And in the distance, you see this carriage running off with a man running after it.
Keeping the carriage hitched, that's a bold move.
Right?
Do I really want to know what just happened?
No. No, we don't.
Use your imagination.
Okay.
Somebody explain to me what to do. And I really hope that horse is okay, because it was really upset about a snake.
It's still running. It should be fine. If that lantern that's slowly going away is any indication.
I don't envy the man that's running after that.
It's okay. They'll both get tired and take a nap at some point.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You'll catch the horse once it stops running in fear, and hopefully the carriage weighs it down a little bit.
If everyone else is here, Adea will kind of lean over kind of quietly and go, anyone know who this guy is?
No.
No.
I was thinking no.
Can I roll a history or something?
Or it
I think that would be intelligence nobility.
would be knowledge nobility.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay. Total of 14.
14. He's not recognizable, but you can tell from the stuff that he is wearing that he's probably some sort of minor nobility. At most, an earl. But likely probably just some lord who happens to have a bit of land. And you can tell from his just the way he looks and how he holds himself that he's definitely Roman nobility. He doesn't look Celtic. He definitely looks Roman. And so you imagine that he's probably not a nice dude. You can name all the nice Roman nobility you've met on one hand. And they don't even fill that hand.
I was about to say, I could lose fingers and still keep accurate count.
Because I think at this point it is 3.
Oh, so you can lose your pinky and your thumb. Or your pinky and your ring finger.
Yeah, I count the German way. I'm going to lose these two. I'm not going to, not be able to grab the doorknob. Thank you very much.
This is actually 3 in sign language because this is a W.
Yeah.
So
2's gonna call him back to Earth and say, Sack and go, it's nap time, guys.
Hi,
Because
Megan.
It's a lot.
Yep,
For a small person.
he's tired now.
Tired. But she's still
Got
a baby.
as much class as the Egyptian smithing district, so far I'm pretty pleased with Tooth's work.
He put too much effort in today. We have to pay
What
him
was that about
overtime.
today?
What?
We put Tooth through too much work. We have to pay him overtime.
The guy finally gets his pants up and he turns around and sees that there are more of you, and he's like, seriously? Who the hell are you people?
We were thinking the same of you.
Stop.
Well,
An
they-
obvious,
Languages he knows.
Yeah, I
an
was gonna
obvious
say.
angle.
Rita, you can't understand him.
Yeah,
You
I
just
know. Yeah, it's like
suck.
Sabrina just kept like kind of like that body language of like kind of cringing in because he's angry. That's what Brina looks like right now.
Low battery.
I don't know.
we just got here. Most of us don't know what happened.
Well, it's none of your business what happened. Unless you're the ones who spooked my horse.
Like Brina's just gonna like lean over to Idea. Idea, did we spook his horse?
I'm innocent this time.
Low battery.
Just plugged you in.
You will see Rana like give the disappointed parent like look out of the corner of her eye, like that kind of stare, like I disapprove of this. But directed at Tadea.
Tadeo kind of give like half a shrug of like so what, but also half a shrug of like I didn't do anything. You can mix those two.
I can see it in my head. Like I didn't do anything.
Clearly none of our business, and nor do I care. Let's go.
Rana just starts walking past this guy.
Yep.
Tadeo
Hey.
follows.
Realized Brina would have been on Rada's back. I'm gonna look like I'm freaking hovering in the air.
I think did we put glamours up? I don't think we did.
Rada did.
Ah.
Rada put a glamour up, and I tried to put a glamour up. Mine, I look like a 10-year-old Kimry. But
Oh, I didn't know if we dropped those glamours while we were walking.
oh, good point.
Rada would have kept
They've
hers
been
up just because you never know when we can run into humans.
As you're going by, that's when he will notice you, and he starts spluttering, and he's just like, like, what's happening? Because yes, it does kind of look like you're hovering in midair to this poor soul. And now he's
I'm just,
kind
I'm just gonna like awkwardly wave. Like, bye, sir. I don't say goodbye, sir, but of course can't understand what I'm saying. But you guys do.
I know it. He poisoned me.
Oh, come on, Brina. Sir is too kind for this man.
What did he just? What was he yelling about anyway, Idea?
He was berating his servant for his food.
Was that the poor man running after the horse?
Yes. And he's got as much class as the Egyptian smithing district.
The servant or the nobleman?
The nobleman.
Ugh. Okay. That doesn't bode too
I
well.
will say after that walking another 20 minutes, you do eventually catch up to the servant and the horse. Both of them are working pretty hard. but he is calming the animal down. He startles when you guys get close, and he just kind of goes around the other side. The horse is like, please just pass by. I don't mean any harm.
What language?
He sounds Latin, and he sounds terrified.
We don't mean
Adea
any
will
harm. We're not
respond, and we mean you
brigands.
no harm.
Okay, you were both talking at the same time.
And we mean
Which-
you no harm.
We aren't
Okay.
brigands.
I think
We aren't what?
We aren't brigands.
I'm gonna slide off Rada's back and go over to the horse. Because I just want to ask the horse if the horse is okay.
If we actually wanted to do anything, we would have done something to that man back there.
Well, if you had, it would have been better for everyone. He kind of muttered that.
How
I can't
terrible
say if
is
he
he?
kept talking the way that he was, I might have.
He pokes his head around. And it'll be very plain to you, especially Rada, because of your background. He's got bruises all over his face and on his neck and on his arms. This man's been beaten.
Oh, by the way, while everyone else was walking away, Ern was a little busy with the noble, so
Noted.
specifically bringing him into the ground, making it very personal with the mud, taking most of his valuable materials and tossing his pants up in a tree. And taking the remaining of the soup.
I mean, we're talking somebody who's basically on par with the peasant. He's not gonna have much way to fight you off.
I imagine it's only now that Ern's finally caught up, like, okay, guys, I got the soup.
What did you do?
Yes, we are. You need to do.
Like Brita's standing here with the horse, and like I assuming the horse has like a bridle or something like that, and so I've stretched out my arms as far as I can go to like just kind of bring the horse's head down. It's like, it's okay, it's okay. What's your name?
Adea shrugs. I thought we weren't brigands, at least.
That's when you notice, like, all the valuables around Ern's arms,
Odin,
including the crown.
Odin, what did you do?
I just personally introduced him to the wonderful domain of Cernunnos. And his nicer one, not his death one. Thank you very much. I don't think he can climb trees, by the way.
Thank you for saving me the time of walking back.
Oh, you're welcome. Wait, what?
She'll gesture towards the man and say, this man is bruised and beaten.
Well, I feel justified.
Probably saved us a forest fire for what it's worth.
Brita's focusing on the horse right now because it's one of the things that like I know I can help the horse, and if that helps this guy who's obviously not okay, and like the fact that he hid behind the horse and sounds so terrified, like okay, that's not good. So I kind of caught the bridle and just like stroking its nose, and like okay, it's okay. What's your name? What's your name? I'm asking the horse's name.
Skybound.
Skybound?
Skybound.
Well, that's a very unique name. I like it. I'm Brina. Are you like here? You saw a snake? Was that what spooked you?
Yes.
Okay.
Small person with snake.
Well, my apologies. That must have been one of my party members. I apologize. I am so sorry. I will have words with him later about the snake. He plays tricks a lot. I apologize. That was not nice of him. I have a feeling it was more to tick off your owner. Does your owner treat you well? Because I have a feeling from how the gentleman here is, that's probably a no, but I wanted to ask.
He treats me well.
Well, I'm glad he at least treats one of you well. He should treat both of you well. And what about him? Like she'll like tilt her head to the side to where the servant's standing, because like she's the closest person to him right now, but he's still hiding behind the horse. And so like as I'm talking to the horse, I'm just like, and what about him? What's his name?
Yorith.
Yorith?
I will put it in the role play for you.
Thank you.
Sometimes Master uses riding crop on him.
My hands just kind of grip a little bit harder onto the bridle. And it's like, and then I'm just kind of turned towards the rest of the party. It's like, so this is Greybound or Guybound, as I'm gonna gesture to the horse.
As in like skybound.
Skybound. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you. Skybound. This is Skybound. And I'm gonna gesture towards the servants, like, and Skybound tells me that this is Yorath. Skybound also mentioned that the nobleman uses the riding crop on Yorath, which explains the bruises. I think this is the first time I'm gonna notice that Aaron's back and has like all this stuff in his hands. Like, Aaron, do I want to know?
You probably don't.
Okay.
The only thing that
down the road.
Brina, the only things that you need to know is normally I would disapprove. Well, in this case, he's justified.
Everyone's gonna walk over to where you are, Brina, and look up the horse and go, "This friend, you safe."
Thank you, Everald. Thank you, Everald.
Yorith looks confused because he can't understand anything that's going on right now, but he did understand some. He kind of understands some of what's going on because he sees that you have a bunch of his master's things, particularly the food that he worked on. He's just like, "What did you do with my master? You said you were not brigands."
Adea did say, I thought we weren't brigands. When Erden showed up.
Companion here stayed behind to relieve your master's and things.
He starts to like, you can see he's starting to hyperventilate. He's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna get in so much trouble for this. He's gonna beat me over this." He's like shaking his head and he's like gripping the reins on the horse like so tight that his knuckles are turning white. He's definitely panicking. And just no.
He seems nervous. Has he not considered to just take the horse and reinvent his life?
I'm going to like reach, like I have one hand on the hand that I was just using to stroke Ivan's nose. I'm just gonna reach over towards the servant's hands on the reins and I'm just gonna cast calm emotions.
He jumps at first, but then you
It.
see he starts to relax. Why did you do that? Now I'm gonna be punished for it.
I'm looking towards our Latin speakers to actually, who am I kidding? I hate it. Like I'm gonna look around at our people and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna cast comprehend language just so I can understand what he's saying.
He's
I have
definitely
two
looking
different thoughts,
for.
and I'm trying to decide which one Adea addresses first. I have two different thoughts. I'm trying to decide which one Adea addresses first.
That is a good question. Erden, why did you feel does he need to relieve the man of his things?
Well, it was obviously that he was yelling. So that was part one. Part two is that honestly, I just kind of saw Constance in him and just thought, you know what? I can't do this to the guy, so
So you used this man as proxy for your frustrations.
a little, yeah. Also, I'm hungry. Like, I'll admit that.
You couldn't wait half an hour more?
I didn't know when we were stopping. And also, have you even met Latin nobles? They are so annoying.
Yes.
I mean, they'll make everything your problem.
Look. Then, just listening to that man back there made me realize Tong may have a point.
Ooh.
Wait, you didn't think she didn't before?
I was kind of neutral towards nobility, as in they're a necessary part of society. Hearing that man? No. I'm starting to think she has a point.
I'm gonna
But-
turn now that it kind of helps your ass calm down. I'm turning back to Skybound. It's like, what was your master's name? If you don't mind me asking.
Lord
Sorry.
Murig.
Lord Murig.
Mm-hmm.
The nobleman's name is Lord Murig.
You stupid thing! And then it didn't even spell it right. Stupid keyboard. There we go.
Adea will dress Rada in not Latin. Could we use a servant and a horse?
Well, we certainly can't. She'll say this in Latin. We certainly can't send him back to that man.
I mean,
I
we could
agree
stick
with
around and fulfill his wishes.
Are you kidnapping me?
No, we just don't want you to suffer more under that man's thumb.
I don't think I was gonna say kidnapping's not the right word.
It's voluntary. You don't have to come.
I'd say it's more.
You say that. It's like a dam breaks and he just sobs and he comes up to you. He's just like, thank you. He's just like the saddest, most pathetic thing you've ever seen. But as he's reaching up, like his sleeves slide up as he's reaching up to you, and there's more bruises. This guy was not, and not only that, he looks malnourished. Like this man was not being taken care of by his master at all.
Well, Adea does have rations, so she'll start by giving him some food.
Thank you. I'm afraid that soup's not very good.
I don't know, I didn't have the soup. I mean, and if it's good, you should compliment the man.
Aaron will try it.
It's cold. Not cold. It's kind of lukewarm, but I mean, it doesn't taste bad. It tastes like some sort of beef stew.
You know, for its temperature, it's actually pretty good.
Really? Well, he's been told I was a terrible cook.
Well, nobles don't know what flavor is if it's slapped them in the face.
You will get a little snort out of that.
Sorry, what was that?
He snorted a little bit at that. Are you going to keep me?
Nah.
If you want to stay, you can. I think. I mean,
We won't stop you from sticking around. But honestly, you'd probably be better off taking a few of this valuable stuff and the horse and I don't know, doing something else.
We are not a group that believes in involuntary servitude.
Nope.
Oh. I don't know how to do anything else.
Well, I can show you lots of fun things if you want to learn. But it is a dangerous life that we lead, and we get into. Do we even talk about the things that we get into?
Don't mention those.
No.
It's dangerous. Leave it at that.
Like, I'm gonna look over at Rod. It's like, if you can translate for me, because I'm pretty sure Yorath doesn't understand me, but you can always tell him that as he can travel with us if he wants to, and we can maybe help him learn how to do other things. I mean,
From the army, we're trying to find an army.
Yeah, it's in say we're trying to find the army. So
an army? Why are we looking for an army?
Because we're friends with the Pendragon.
Our friends are at the head of the army?
The Pendragon? The Pendragon's dangerous. My master said so.
Airden's friends with them. No, seriously, like he likes us.
Brenda, you're only making this worse right now.
Well, somebody's gonna have to translate for me anyway because he can't understand me. Freaking language only goes one way. I can't understand him. He can't understand me. So technically, you have to actually translate. Sorry, Arthur.
Let me ask you this. Are you going to trust someone that beats you for doing things incorrectly, or people that are treating you nicely?
Your master also thought I was useless. Adea will kneel down and very surreptitiously cast Cure Wounds. Do I look useless?
Called you useless?
Women in general, but
I'm just gonna have you roll persuasion. Rada. But it may not be necessary. Go ahead and roll just in case, it's an L1.
I thought you were asking me, so I rolled.
Rada was the one who was talking. You're being sneaky.
I am so angry that I have a level of exhaustion, and I have to roll at disadvantage, because otherwise that would be a natural 20.
Oh.
You didn't roll a 1 on the other one, did you?
Oh, thankfully I don't count whatever it lands on if it slips out of my hand or rolls onto the floor, because that would have been a natural 1. But no, it's a 13. Plus...
Carpet invalidates any rolls.
I mean, it's a hardwood floor, but it's not even.
So.
I mean, Yorath got a nat 1, so, like, literally you had to get a nat 1 for him not to agree with you. As you're saying that, he will feel the effects of your cure wounds, and he's just like... He doesn't think much of it at first, and he was just like, what's that? Did you feel that?
Yes. I don't know one.
What?
I don't know one.
It's just gonna like roll her eyes a little bit.
There's a day I noticed she's got a passive of 18.
Yeah.
Adea whispers back, you saw nothing.
And Bria's just gonna like look down and whisper, it's like, I understand why. And you're not grumpy. I'm proud of you for that. It's okay.
If you're planning not to return me to him, then we should
Yeah.
probably get away from here before it gets dark in earnest. So I imagine it'd be far too easy to stumble upon us.
Do we use the carriage or do we leave it here? Airden, idea? I feel like it would be too ostentatious and that it would basically put a target on our back in case the nobleman does find us. I mean, granted, he's probably terrified of Airden, and he looked rather terrified of seeing me accidentally floating in midair. So,
I'm sorry,
but
I missed part of the conversation because I had to go find a different pencil.
oh, you're fine. What was the last thing you remember?
I don't remember.
That's okay.
You didn't really miss much. It's basically a conversation of if we keep the carriage or not.
Yeah. Because I feel like it would probably be too ostentatious. And if anything else, you could always have your ride Skybound. I mean, if Skybound's willing, and I can easily ask him.
I hadn't thought much of the carriage. Frankly, I thought Thunderclap was more likely to be an issue, and I wasn't really thinking much about that either.
Thunderclap? Not here.
Yeah, but when Thunderclap does show up eventually, I don't think Thunderclap likes other horses. I could be wrong.
Okay with other horses as long as they acknowledge that he's their superior.
Oh no, it's far worse than that.
Trying to be judicious with her words. Like,
So here's what I think. He definitely cannot go back to that man.
No.
I will not be opposed to him coming with us for a time until we get somewhere safer, because it is somewhat dangerous to be alone in the wilderness. Especially with a man in his state. He's going to need what help he can get.
Does anybody gosh, this is where I need a knowledge, like, we're just gonna go with a straight knowledge because I know this isn't gonna be a specific one unless anybody thought about it, but it's like a knowledge of Roman culture.
I have knowledge of Rome.
Excellent. That's exactly what I need.
I was gonna say, I have knowledge humans, if that helps.
Rada also has knowledge Rome.
Excellent. For those who have knowledge Rome, I need you to roll for me. And I want you to roll another nobility, because that'll kind of fall in the same.
Well, Rada's not going to be much help with this.
15.
15 and
7.
13.
13 and a 7. Okay. Yeah, Rada, I'm gonna say that what you're saying is gonna make sense to you because this was a part of Roman culture you didn't bother to learn because it was disturbing and you didn't like it. However, Erden has been around these nobles, has had to help teach a few of them that what they thought was okay was not so okay, and for some reason they just wanted to know this stuff. There are laws in Roman society for runaway servants and slaves and things like that, and that if they are found, they are to be returned to their master. on pain of death. And there have been times, and you are well aware of this, Erden, that if the servant often, and when the servant was returned, the nobleman often would just outright kill them because they didn't want it to happen again. So returning him to Roman society is probably not a good idea.
Rome's kind of dead anyways, right? Well, Constance doesn't think it's dead, so.
Constance doesn't. So if he does want to return to Roman society, you may want to try and find somebody who will not turn him into the nobleman he just came from.
And I was going to get to that eventually. You can join with us for a time until it is safe to do so. Cannot go back to them. If there's anything I can surmise, though I don't know for sure, he's going to get even worse treatment if he does go back. That man, so he is probably going to be better off with the people that we are going to. Maybe not
sooner or later we go somewhere that's really far away. The world's a big place, and we seem to go to a lot of it. How do we do that, by the way? Life's a journey.
We already have a huge target on our backs. Not just human targets from humans, but also deities. I don't think a minor nobleman is going to be that much of a threat to us. Especially since, from the sounds of it, we were enemies anyway.
As we're talking, Brina's just gonna pull out her Marlin Bill dagger and start sawing at the leather that is attaching Skybound to the carriage. Is we're not taking the carriage, right?
Brandon, don't cut it. You can deattach it. It's really expensive. Do you know how much that could sell for?
What are you doing? It's little things like this. People I know that have horses are just they don't deal with things like that.
Honestly, we could strip this. We could strip this and have all sorts of useful stuff.
Yes, and have
I'm
it
starting to wonder if the garden has a fence.
Live in his bag now.
Good point. If he doesn't, his backpack does.
So it's Brina just okay, fine. I'll put my dagger away. Just detach Skybound from the carriage, please. Because I don't know how to do it.
All right. Yeah, first Ern will detach Skybound and roll up a few of the things, but still allow him to at least be writable reasonably. And then go to the carriage and see what's sitting there.
Oh, there's a big old trunk attached to the back of this carriage. Got gold filigree around it. Looks like it's made out of cherry wood. Hidea quickly comes to join you.
I've been informed we should take the filigree.
How are we supposed to take the filigree?
So do you just have an idea?
It better not be burn it.
Oh no! I could just fabricate it into like a small nugget or like a bar or something. There's probably not enough for a whole bar, but
Took me 20 minutes to walk here. That means we have maybe 30 minutes until that noble finally catches up with us.
I don't think he wants to catch up with us. Let's be honest. But
Hey.
fabricate.
His
That
clothing
won't
is
take
in here, probably. So he'll want it back.
There is a keyhole. It is locked. So in order to open the trunk, you will need a key. The curtains covering the carriage do seem to be made out of silk. On the inside,
Dan,
there's some.
you know how to break locks, right?
Let's see here.
Tooth pokes his head out and goes, "No, but I can unlock them."
Yeah, let him deal with
Okay.
that.
Then we're gonna have to pay him double overtime.
Damn Tooth. Yeah, he
Were we
pokes it.
paying you?
He just like pokes out, pops it open. Ha! There's gold in there. I want it.
You'll get the majority share.
Yes. Yorth is a bit shocked that a little person with bright red hair just poked his head out of your bag. Like, he's standing there staring with wide eyes.
Yeah, so while presumably Brina's taking care of Skybound and the other three are ransacking the carriage, Rod just wants to like go ahead and reassure this guy that he's all right, like he's welcome to come with us, but he better be ready for some strange stuff.
As soon as Brina notices Tooth pop out of the like here's Tooth pop out and offer to break the lock, it's like, Tooth, a word please.
You just gave me 4.
I don't know where you got the snake, but can you at least
I made it.
apologize to Skybound? You made it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was new to me. You should learn a bunch of new tricks. But I don't know how excited we should be about that. But it worked out at this time, so also that ends well. I'm happy.
Made a snake.
And it's about this point where Rod just like goes, you better be ready to see some strange stuff.
He's in response to you, Brina. He goes, "I made it." And he holds his hand out, and the snake appears in it.
Like Brina's holding on to Skybound's bridle. Don't put that away. Put that away. You scared Skybound last time.
He just closes his hand, and it disappears. Well, yeah, get them away from the mean red-faced dude. They're welcome. He pops back in the bag.
Okay. Does Adea know a good way to take filigree off before she starts experimental methods? Because we could try fabricate, but that's raw materials. We could try heat metal. That could be dangerous, but Dave probably knows a good way to get this.
You put it in a metal container, you set it on fire, and then you sort the ash. Generally how you do it.
Here's how we do it. We remove any identifying markings and take the whole carriage with us to sell.
But I want the filigree.
You have between now and whenever we sell the carriage.
If we take the carriage, this nobleman's gonna be able to ask whoever we sell it to who sold it.
That's why I'm saying remove any identifying marks.
Okay,
I think
so
the carriage itself is an identifying mark.
EJ,
A little,
I
yeah.
want you to give me a profession check.
Like
Which one?
Which one?
I've
Which
got
one's
one for jewelry. I've got one for axe. I've got jeweling, blacksmithing.
It's still a
masonry, I
jewelry.
think.
Jewelry.
That's what I was thinking.
We've got one for crafting jewelry and one for jeweler profession.
Go with the second one.
Man, I'm glad my stats are good because my roll's been bad. 15.
16?
15.
Oh, 15. You know that the most important trick to removing filigree is to always pull and never push.
Well, seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Yep. That's all the internet says. Always pull, never push. Okay.
Well, it just comes off like scotch tape if you wrap it around something it doesn't attach to very well. It's just like
A day will start the process.
All right. Let's see. So I want you to give me a dexterity check and a strength check. Just to make sure that you're not pulling too hard, but you're also being very careful about how you're pulling it up. So that you don't damage
Any
the
knowledges that go with this for a skill to do it, or just straight
No,
dex?
it'll be your acrobatics and your athletics.
I got a nat 20 on the acrobatics.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And I got a 19 on the athletics.
Damn, girl.
Which is
All right.
amazing because those are both +1. I don't have dex or strength.
You're standing right there, Ernie. You watch her start to take this filigree off, and it's mesmerizing. She is so delicate with it, and yet you can see that she's putting a little bit of oomph in it to get it off. And you can tell it's heavy because, it's gold. It's not like this is a light metal. But it looks like she's just pulling this lace off and just collecting it as if it was, just a thread in a fabric.
So actually, probably Ern will be distracted enough to when a day is done, he'll just start kind of just clap a little bit.
Idea, you managed to get all of that filigree off. Let's see how much it is.
And it weighs exactly 2 gold coins.
Exactly 2 gold coins.
Response to Eridan's clapping. Thank you. I try to do. I try to do my best work all the time. I'd say this is among it.
Let's see. Actually, oh. We'll say that from this trunk you managed to pull off about 25, like a chunk of gold that's worth 25 gold pieces. This is a pretty decent sized. There was a lot of gold filigree on this. It was thicker than you thought it was going to be.
And just squish it into a ball a little bit, just start sticking to itself.
Gold, so it's soft and you can just mold it to how you need it to be. So it's like all this beautiful filigree and she just goes,
Quick question, if I may interject.
uh-huh.
When Tooth made the snake, did the spell itself look familiar to Brina, like minor illusion or anything like that? Because she has minor illusion, so I would know what that looks like.
Give me an Arcana check.
Arcana check. Okay. I was gonna say, I knew I'd have to roll it, just didn't know what the roll was. This looks like it's gonna be a no. That is a 5.
And you're not sure what was going on there. It looked real, but maybe it wasn't. Tooth doesn't usually do that, so you're a little confused.
I was gonna say, I have a feeling like I was also trying to make sure that the horse didn't spook again, so it makes sense that I would have been distracted.
Should I presume that this gold filigree has the same weight as 25 gold pieces as well?
Yes. All right. Anyone gonna pop the trunk open now?
Yep. Ern's already taking care of the curtains really quickly. It's like, this stuff is so weird and cool.
There is a lot of lavish clothing in there for a guy who's fairly. I mean, he wasn't like an overweight guy, but he was heading that way, and like he might have eventually ended up like your favorite Roman major. Yeah. So fairly large man. These are expensive. There's velvet and silks.
Siberia for people have that.
And there is a bag of gold in the bottom.
Ooh.
And let's see how much he was traveling with. Dude. He's crazy. Apparently he was traveling with 100 gold pieces.
Jeez.
Yeah. Must have a lot of land.
Alright, so we can either divvy this up 5 ways or 6 ways, depending on whether or not we want to give the poor servant some money.
And Tooth wanted the gold if we found any, and Airden promised him a larger share. But not all of it, but a larger share, yeah. But you didn't.
What's 100 divided by 7?
7?
Even.
You're giving him 2 shares?
Yeah. You know, it's gonna be a larger amount, but after it's been divided, it's not gonna be a lot.
14.285.
I was gonna say it's almost 16, but not quite.
So Tooth gets 28, everyone else gets 14, except for our new friend who gets 15. That's how it works out, right?
Math people, get on that. I'm not a math person. I just had a iPhone calculator handy.
Where's the calculator that actually gives remainders rather than percentages?
Right.
Oh, wait a second. It's not 16. That's by 10. So yeah, 15 would divvy up so that there's
2.
You divide by 7, you get 15, and there's 5 gold pieces left over.
There would be a 2 remaining.
Oh, then our new friend gets 2.
Extra?
16.
Yeah.
He gets 16.
Turd.
Normally like having a little loot. But he called women useless.
Yeah, it's really obvious he's never met the 3 of you.
Thank you, Airden. Random question that probably doesn't really make a difference, but I'm curious and I want to know.
Yeah.
Skybound, boy or girl?
What?
The horse, Skybound.
A male horse.
No, okay.
Lion. You heading to bed? I'll take that as a yes. In which case, all right.
Daya's excited about a few more gold pieces. She defaced a bunch of them recently and needs to resupply.
Nice. Anything else you want from the carriage?
Not really. I feel like we've pretty much stripped out the more valuable stuff, unless we're about to use the carrot itself.
Is there a saddle?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright.
If there's a, like, I'll lean over. If there's a saddle for Skybound, could you bring that over? Because he wouldn't be wearing a saddle while pulling the carriage.
Yeah.
So.
No. But there is one attached to the back of the carriage. Just in case. It's not a big saddle.
Let me ask this. Which do you think would be more annoying? Having a carriage that's in its current state, or a carriage without its wheels?
Yes?
Are we proposing we're taking the wheels too?
I'm not proposing we take the wheels, though we could to make it even more annoying.
There might be some iron in there that I could use.
Iron and reinforced wheels.
I'm assuming
All
that
right,
Airden has
I'll get the
and I'm like, Airden, go ahead and do whatever you're doing. I don't know what you're doing with the wheels. I'll have Yoris help me with saddling Skybound, because that seems like a good idea, maybe.
Now Ern will do the saddling, and then if Idea wants to salvage some iron from Rada's broken wheels, then so be it. Like, at this point, it's kind of like Ern's thinking, is the noble gonna catch up to us at this point? Or we're gonna have to make a getaway, or what?
Hey, look, we have a horse. If you want to cast Find Steed, get Thunderclap back.
I'm this close.
I'm just saying. Brina and Rada, Idea and Erden on Thunderclap, and then Yorath on Skybound.
I was gonna ride with Yorath on Skybound, but I just I'm not riding you.
Whatever works.
Yeah. Not to mention, the poor guy looks so worn out. I want to make sure he doesn't fall out of the saddle.
That's fair.
Yeah, we can leave now, or I can salvage stuff. Either way.
I mean, we have time, right?
From inside Erden's bag, you'll hear Tooth go, just make sure you're on the back, Brina, because if he tries to grab you and your middle's not there because it doesn't exist, it might freak him out again.
You didn't notice that my glamour is not that good.
He wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, because yeah, good point, Tooth. Okay.
All right, if you're giving me permission, I've been in desperate need of iron, and there were no good deals in Egypt. Is there any iron I can salvage off this carriage?
Give me an investigate.
So it should be on the wheels. It should be the section that connects the axles to the carriage itself. There's a lot of nails in there if you want to get your hands really dirty.
16.
What was that?
16.
16? Oh, yeah. The center piece of your wheels are iron capped. The axle is going to be made out of iron. Some of the attachment pieces for the carriage to the horse are made out of iron.
Everything we need here. Yeah, it gets to work.
Will Rada offer up her warhammer to expedite the devastation?
If we're just beating on the carriage, she'll join
We're
in.
just taking the iron.
I said, if we're beating on the carriage, sure, like she'll join in. But if we just want to just take things that are easily accessible, no, she's keeping an eye out or continuing a reassuring Yorath.
And hopefully explaining to him what's going on.
Yep.
I mean, you're gonna have to rotate the carriage if you want to get to the underpieces.
So
I have this wonderful
honestly,
image
as
in
you
my head.
continue to look at it, you're looking at a significant amount of the frame of this carriage is made out of iron.
We
Like
just want to take the frame.
we're talking maybe 40% of this carriage is iron.
Oh yeah. I don't know if we're gonna get all of it, but I've been very deficient on iron.
At this point, you might as well just take the carriage with you and throw it at the camp.
Do we want to? Are we gonna do this or no?
You gotta do
Yep.
this for a while.
Assemble it.
I don't think we're worried about anybody finding out where it was sold if we took the whole thing apart.
Yeah, if we're taking it apart for pieces, I think it's fine. So, okay. Well, sorry, Skybound, we'll have to unsaddle you and reteach the carriage if you don't mind.
No. I could get Thunderclap to do this. Alright.
Think Thunderclap is being to be attached to a carriage?
Tell him that he's going to be carrying the load of some of the finest weapons the world will see soon enough.
Alright. You summoning your steed?
Yes, I am.
Oh boy. This is gonna be fun.
How dare you steal that car?
Falling Weasley?
No. It's even better than that. He just shows, yeah? When you summon?
Basically, I always imagine it's like there's always some section of mist in the area, so he always walks out of it or something.
Yeah, he'll just show up, he's kind of clopping along, and he looks you dead in the eyes, and he's obviously only so many people can understand the horse, and he just goes, "You left me!" And he's like pushing his head up against your forehead.
Like I like that since we can communicate telepathically, he's both saying this out loud and in my head. It's like, okay, that's not entirely accurate. It's technically a goddess left you.
I was on my way to world domination, and you ditched me.
Oh, were you really? Were you almost successful on that island as well? I'm so proud of you.
This is better me getting the list. You replaced me?
No, we just found him. In fact, you're replacing him.
To do what?
Look, a comrade has been carrying along a worthless bipedal being this entire day. He's tired, and his rider is also tired of dealing with this. So you have been volunteered to shoulder this great weight as the great leader you are.
I want you to give me persuasion if this horse is such a snot.
Well, he's a snot, but also, he's one of those. I don't know. I always think of him like the like how you hear the what is it, the propaganda about communists, but it's like, yes, I'm helping further in like the most positive way possible.
Yeah.
That's I keep rolling only half decently this entire dang day.
My good rolls for when I needed them.
Hey, persuasion. Oh wait, I have maxed out charisma. That's a 19.
Yeah, he only rolled a 4, so he's like, you've preened him. He's like,
Yeah.
and this is a noble cause.
But of course, we're stealing from the nobles.
Okay.
Did we just invent the legend of Robin Hood?
Couple
Better believe it, I've written that down.
Well, considering none of us are archers, no, not yet. Also, we gave
The only
most
time
of
that the army has ever seen a Dev lift a weapon, it was a bow.
but we also gave the majority of the gold to ourselves. Now, Grant, you can argue that we are the poor.
I mean, one of us is regularly busking for his income.
But Tooth owns a winery, which means he's a landowner.
Most of us are the working class, right?
Brina's classless.
That's true.
Zendaya is very blue collar.
I'll work
But
on it.
Marina's also careful with her money, so it's just like, yeah. But
Oh my gosh.
act of hooking up Thunderclap to a freaking carriage.
And once that's done, Ern will get into the driver's seat, but he won't control Thunderclap. Thunderclap knows what to do. Or at the very least, listen to Erden. And then he'll actually put Everald next to him. She'll be like, all right, Everald, point us in the right direction.
Sway! To which Thunderclap just turns around and goes, that means nothing. North, south, east, west? Come on, pig. Just take her little front foot and go this way. Thunderclap's just gonna like this again. Why is she back?
Shall we get going? Onward to adventure?
Zadea's excited. Let's keep going.
Thunderclap will get going. And
we've helped Yorath onto Skybound, and I've climbed up behind him to make sure he doesn't fall off.
Okay.
Actually, I think the only thing we're leaving behind is the stripped trunk with just the velvet clothing. Like literally, like you'll follow the carriage to stop, obvious stop, and it's just this chunky trunk.
But stripped of the filigree, stripped of all the fanciness, and it's just popped open, velvet clothes just spilling out.
Oh man. That's where we're gonna stop tonight. I think that's as classic D&D as we've ever done.
Yes.
Yes. I saw the opportunity. Pushed for it.
Honestly, this was probably the only way you could get Rada to be on board.
Few times where it's yeah, I don't normally go in for loot or pummeling up people, but at the same time, it's this guy obviously totally abused this poor servant. He called Idea, of all people, worthless. He called women in general worthless. yeah, this is normally not where I'm at, but you know what? I get it. And of course, she's still trying to like get Tooth to apologize to Skybound for the snake, and which she doesn't do. But
You.
How do we follow up after this?
The only other classical thing that we could do would be fighting one of the gods and succeeding, and not just being like, you entertained me enough.
Don't tempt Erden.